Here we're looking at this question as part of our exercise practice in change of variables in partial derivatives. Let me cross my z. Z is equal to 5x squared y to the fourth plus y squared plus x cubed minus 15, where x is 3t plus 2 and y is 7t squared minus 30. You must find delta z by delta t, where t is equal to negative 3. Alright? Now, a change in z is equal to, you know, that is delta z by delta x times delta x by delta t, and you notice the delta x and delta x, can imagine them cancelling each other, right? Plus let me not go too far here yet. It should be changing x. The general formula is delta z by delta x times a change in x, alright? Plus delta z, partial derivative of z, with respect to y, times a small change in y. So we have a small change in z is equal to the partial derivative of z with respect to x times a small change in x, plus partial derivative of z with respect to y times a small change in y. Now if we divide by delta t, we have delta t here, delta t, delta t, small change in t. So we divide each by a small change in t. Alright? Now, when we talk about the limit as delta t tends to 0, these small changes become derivatives. So it's the derivative of z with respect to t is equal to the derivative of z with respect to x times the derivative of x with respect to t, plus the partial derivative of z with respect to y times partial derivative of y with respect to t. Alright? Now what is the derivative? The partial derivative of x with respect to t. X is equal to 3t plus 1. So delta x by delta t would be 3. So delta x by delta t is equal to 3. What about delta y by delta t? That would be 7 by 2t, which is 14t. So this should be delta z. Delta x by delta t. And delta y by delta t is, let's say it was again 14t. Alright. Now, what is delta z by delta x? Let's see. The partial derivative of z with respect to x is going to be 2, 5, 10x. 10x y to the fourth. So it's 10x y to the fourth. Remember why you're treating it as if it's just a constant for now. The y, this was 0. The negative 15 at 0, constant. But this now is 3x squared. So it's plus 3x squared. And then we want delta z by delta y. What is the partial derivative of z with respect to y? With before 5, 20. It's 20x squared y cubed. It's 20x squared y cubed plus 2y. That's that. Alright, so delta z by delta t now. Delta z by delta t is equal to delta z by delta x is going to be 10xy to the fourth plus 3x squared. That multiplies delta x by delta t, which is 3, plus we have delta z by delta y, it's 20x squared y cubed, 20x squared y cubed plus 2y multiplied by delta y by delta t, which is 14t. Alright, now we can simplify it, but remember, question says that t is negative 3. So t is going to become negative 3. So if you multiply out the brackets, this is 30x y to the fourth plus 9x squared plus, now t, what do you say it is again, negative 3. If we consider multiplying the t, multiplying 14 by negative 3, what do we get? Alright, so where's my calculator? Looking for my calculator. Alright, I found it, but I also have an online calculator which I could use. Alright, so 14 by 3, that's going to be, oh, should be 14 by 3, negative 42. Right, so you have negative 3, so it's negative 42 multiplied by 20. Alright, I found my calculator here. Right, so I have is 42 by 20, 840, negative 840 x squared y cubed minus, and then what you have now, negative 28, negative 84. So negative 84 minus 84 y, right, is going to be a minus. Alright, so that seems to be it. Delta z by delta t is 30x y to the fourth plus 9x squared minus x squared y cubed minus 84 y.